Hey, what's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and Premier League festive schedule has gotten underway. A lot of games coming up over this little Christmas break. It's going to be difficult to sort of talk about these weeks separately because so many of them are going to be like pretty much 2 days after each other. So if I end up getting caught in a position where I've not done a review of one of the weeks and another of the weeks has already happened, I may just sort of combine them together. But I did manage to watch the final week fixtures of the first official half of the season. And so we're going to talk about week 19. So, obviously, a lot of games in quick succession. Some teams stepping up in this time, some of them not. So, let's talk about it. Starting off with the first game on Friday, had Arsenal versus Liverpool. Very exciting game, 3-3 draw. Liverpool's up 2-0 in the second half, and all of a sudden Arsenal turn it around. They're up 3-2 after like 5 minutes, and then Liverpool managed to equalize later on, and that's how it ends. So for both teams, this result kind of has different effects. It's not a good result for either one. They both need wins at this point, but I think for both of them, there are different reasons why they're going to be upset. For Arsenal, they're going to look at this and say, all right, we turned it around. We managed to come back from 2-0 down. We looked good, and then we just fell apart. And, it's kind of Arsenal. It's Arsenal in a nutshell. They have the quality. It's just the quality's not always there, and it just sort of drops off and falls apart. So even when we started off poor, and then now we're ahead, then it's now we're done. Now we're falling apart again, and now they've equalized, and now they look the better team. So that's kind of been Arsenal's problem for a while now, and it's pretty frustrating for Arsenal fans that things really haven't changed. Things are still the same under Arsene Wenger. So obviously, all the Arsene out Wenger out has just been flying through the roof. Just everybody's been talking about it. Most Arsenal fans want him out. It's just a matter of is result like these, are results like these, are they going to be enough for the board to say, you know what, there does need to be a change? Because realistically, I mean, you look at the style of play, you look at the players, and yeah, Arsene Wenger does have a lot to do with it. Look at who they bought in the summer. They bought two players, and they're both decent players, but I mean, all the other teams are out spending. They're getting better players, they're getting better teams. So, yeah, it's pretty frustrating for them. For Liverpool fans, though, they're going to look at this game and say, we need defenders. It's been a problem. It's been the problem for us for the past 2 years, actually for the past several years. But under Klopp, that's been one of the biggest issues because their attack has been really good. But defensively, they're not good. They need more defenders. They need more defensive help. And they don't go get more defenders. And so you're up 2-0, and then after 5 minutes, now you're down 3-2. That's Liverpool in a nutshell. So it's really funny to see how both teams' struggles and why fans are upset with their managers at the moment can sort of be wrapped up in this game. So yeah, it doesn't help either of them. They're both going to be upset for different reasons, but at the same time, I think they'll both be taking positives from the game as well. And I think mainly it's those positive thinkers that will be taking the positives from the game because I think every other fan is probably like frustrated with how the game went. So anyway, get on to the Saturday fixtures. 9 in one day is quite a lot. But the first one, you got Everton-Chelsea, draw 0-0. I already talked about ramifications for Chelsea. This pretty much knocks them out of the title running because Man City's going to win later on in the day. So if you don't win first off, you're not putting any pressure on Man City because they're just like, oh well, third place is already tied, and Man U's not playing very well, so we're good. We got this. So yeah, it's pretty frustrating for Chelsea fans that they couldn't manage to get a win, even if it is away at Everton. They'll still be looking at this and saying, you know what, we were the better team. We should have finished that. For Everton though, they'll be somewhat pleased with the draw, but at the same time, I have to think that they're going to look at this and say, typical Sam Allardyce. Set up his team not to win, but just to get a point. There was only one team going for a win in that game, and it certainly was not the home team. So I don't know how happy they'll be with it. That is what Sam Allardyce does. He comes in and makes them defensively strong first and then worries about the results later. But yeah, so it's kind of difficult for me not being an Everton fan and obviously being a Chelsea fan, very disappointed with the draw for them. But for Everton fans, I'm not sure if they're going to be pleased that they managed to get a draw against one of the top six, or if they're going to be looking at this and saying, God, we didn't even try. We just stuck one guy up top and hope for the best. And the second half, we kind of stuck two, but it was more like, no, one guy's really going to be up there, and the other one's got to go both. So, I don't know. I'm not sure if they're going to be pleased with the performance overall, but I do think they'll be pleased with the results. Then you get on to the next set of games. A lot happened at the 10 o'clock Eastern time fixture. First off, you got West Ham, Newcastle. Newcastle managed to get a result away from home at West Ham, which is pretty shocking to me. Because West Ham looked like they had maybe started to turn over a new leaf. Maybe they started getting better. And so at home against Newcastle have been struggling. That should be an easy win. But Newcastle came out really fast, knocked them down 2-0 early on, and I think that's how it went. Can't really remember. Oh, never mind. It was 1-1 early on. And then, okay. Oh, no, that may be an own goal. Never mind. Whatever the case. Yeah, it's pretty frustrating for West Ham's fans to see that they've been doing so well and now this result. It just sort of takes the momentum out of your sails. And for Newcastle, obviously, huge result. It's a win on the road against another team that's struggling. They're going to take as many of these as they can get, to try to stay safe this season. So, a very interesting result there. Then you got Swansea Palace, two teams who've been really struggling. Swansea, though, needed a win at home. And Palace, not a great result for them because they need more wins, but a draw on the road, that's a good result for them. So I think both teams will have their positives and negatives to take out of this game, but I think overall Palace fans will be more happy. Swansea fans will be asking, what can we do? They sacked Paul Clement midweek and then come into this game thinking, all right, we need a response, and then they end up drawing at home. It's not good enough. So probably going to be looking in the January transfer window to try to get some more players in, and probably just need some defenders. The strikers have not been the problem this year. It's been, can we keep the goals out? They've been able to get 1 or 2 goals every game, most games, but they've not been able to defend very well, and it's cost them. So, yeah, definitely going to be looking to see what can they do in January to strengthen themselves. Stoke West Brom, next game up. Honestly, this one could have gone either way. West Brom have been up and down, up and down. Stoke have been up at the beginning and then down in the past few weeks. Well, they managed to turn it around for this one. Managed to get a 3-1 win at home. They'll take it. They'll be happy with the win. West Brom fans will be disappointed, but not... I don't think they'll be shell-shocked as this happened. So, yeah, I think overall it's kind of an expected result. I think if it had gone the other way, I think Stoke fans would have been extremely disappointed. West Brom fans would have been extremely pleased. So it's just one of those results that you kind of expect to see, and there's no real shock to it. Southampton Huddersfield 1-1 draw. Huddersfield, big result for them. A draw on the road against Southampton, who have had their ups and downs. That's huge for them. They've needed results like this to sort of keep themselves in that safe zone where they spent most of the season. Southampton, very disappointed not to get a win at home against Huddersfield, who had, not a terrible team, but definitely not one of the teams you should be drawing at home. You should be winning pretty soundly. So it'll be definitely interesting to see, what does this mean for Southampton, because they're still not safe. They're still in that little danger zone. And for Huddersfield, they'll be hoping to take momentum into this festive fixtures list because they need as many away results as they can get for sure. Then you got Man City Bournemouth, and once again, Man City easily cruising through this one. Will they be stopped is the question a lot of people are asking. I do think eventually they're going to hit a wall. You got all these games coming back to back to back. If they honestly win all of these games, then just go ahead and hand them the title. But I don't see that happening. I do see them facing, I can't remember who I saw. I did see one game that I just thought, there's no way. Newcastle away from home, be fairly difficult. Then they've got Palace away, fairly difficult as well. Another team that's trying to perform better. Watford at home should be easy for them. And then they've got Liverpool away from home on the 14th. And I think that will probably be the one, if they manage to make it through this little set of fixtures, that they manage to do it, I think that'll be the one where even if they don't win, I do think they'll draw. So, but for the next few fixtures, they'll find it a little bit more difficult than this game for sure. Bournemouth at home is a game you should easily be winning, even if you're not Man City. Just Bournemouth have not been good enough. They've really, really struggled this season, have not been able to find anything. They got a little bit unlucky because there were some injuries early on that did hurt them. But, they put up a fight and just didn't have enough quality on the day, and that's been the story of their season. So, but as far as Man City is concerned, they'll probably be able to do well over the next few games. I don't think they'll be able to find it as easy as this one, though. But it'll be interesting to see whether or not they hit a roadblock and then maybe hit a stumbling block that really hurts their season, or if something happens that just sort of blows up their season. In my opinion, it should have been the De Bruyne dive that should have gotten a ban for 3 games, and now they struggle without him. But the FA was like, "Now we got you. We don't see that as a dive," and just let it go. So, honestly, I don't even know if they looked at it, and that would be the frustrating thing for me, to be honest, is if they didn't look at it at all. That would be pretty stupid. Next up, you got Brighton versus Watford. 1-0 win for Brighton at home. Good result. Watford continue to struggle. And it's not getting any better for them. They didn't get a red card in this game, so that's good. They didn't go 4 games in a row with a red card, but yeah, it's still not good enough for them. They've really, really dropped off. In fact, looking at the table really fast, they're in 10th place. Yeah, they're 22 points, and Bournemouth in 18th have 16. To put that in perspective, I'm pretty sure. Let me see. I just want to make sure that I'm right on this. So they lost last week. They lost the week before. Lost the week before. Tied the week before that. Lost 1. Okay, so out of the past 5 games, they've won 1, drawn 1, and then lost 3 in a row. Yeah, that's a lot of drop points. And now you are 6 points ahead of the drop zone. What happened? They just really fell apart. It's been a frustrating set of fixtures for them recently. And I don't think it gets any easier for them either. I'm pretty sure they face some very difficult teams. You got Leicester, who have been on a tear recently. And then after that, you've got, if this thing will stop reloading, Swansea home should be easy. And then Man City away. And that's going to be difficult. Southampton at home, that's going to be difficult. Leicester away, that's going to be difficult. So you just all of these just really difficult results back to back to back to back. And they really flunked a lot of these fixtures that they should have gotten points out of. So it's been very bizarre for Watford this season, going from on top of the world up there with Burnley as far as the surprise performers to just done. So yeah, shocking. Brighton, obviously, hoping to take the momentum out of this. It's a win at home against a team that's been struggling. They need to be making sure that they get points like this. So then you got Burnley versus Spurs. Burnley at home, typically been playing pretty well, but from what I saw, they don't have Tarkowski, and they didn't have Ward for this one either. So yeah, they're missing some key players, and that hurt them. Spurs turned on the quality, managed to get a 3-0 win. So it's pretty much back to, I guess, expected for both of these teams. Burnley aren't a team that should be expecting to challenge Spurs that much, and Spurs are not a team that should be expected to be challenged by Burnley that much. So I think when you take out a couple of the players that are in Burnley's lineup this season, I think it makes them a more average team. But those players have really stepped up and really shown their quality, and that's why they've been doing so well. So you upset that first starting lineup, yeah, it does hurt. And then last up, of course, is the big one, Leicester Man U, 2-2 draw. And not just that, but Leicester managed to come down from 2-1 and a man down and managed to get an equalizer right at the very end. But it's been the story of Man U's season. They just do not close a game very well. They typically shut down whenever it gets to the end of the game, and they struggle. It's surprising. It's not exactly what we expect to see out of a Mourinho team. Typically, he knows how to close out games when they're ahead. But yeah, it's been the story of their season so far, and they continue to struggle, and they continue to drop points on Man City, and it's why this is turning into Man City's season. So yeah, I don't really know how to quantify it, to really explain what's going on. It could be partially they just don't have the personnel that Mourinho's used to working with. As far as their back line, you look at their back line, it's just not good enough. You think their attack would be good enough, but whenever you've got a manager who thinks, all right, let's just get a goal up and then we'll try to close out the game, that means you got to have a good defense or a good enough defense to do it. And he doesn't have that this year. Smalling, Jones, Darmian, Rojo, Blend, they're not good enough. They're not good enough players to be able to shut down a game. Yes, De Gea is a great keeper, but if your defense is letting them have one-on-one chances, it doesn't matter how good your keeper is. Most keepers are not going to do great whenever it comes to one-on-one chances. So, yeah, I don't know. It's been a strange season for them, and it's just getting stranger. So, obviously, Chelsea will take a lot of, I guess, energy out of the fact knowing that the team right above them also drew, which means they didn't drop any points on them, and they'll be hoping to stay second and keep it respectable. But Man U will be very, I guess, shell shocked to see that they've managed to do this now. This is not the first time this has happened to them. So, but yeah, that's been it for me. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What were your thoughts in this past week? Let me know. We can talk about and discuss all the good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Premier League week reviews. I'll see you guys this midweek. Peace out.